Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Believe in San Diego Baseball. My name is Alex Miniak, voice of Petco Park and host of this program, normally alongside the three-time All-Star Heath Bell. Heath is out of town this week. He is at Padres Fantasy Camp in Peoria, Arizona. We will check in with him momentarily, and he will be bringing a guest, none other than our biggest guest ever on Believe in San Diego Baseball. I'm talking about a three-time All-Star, a two-time World Series champion, a National League Cy Young Award winner, and pitching Triple Crown winner. And on top of that, a Padres Hall of Famer. That is coming up on today's program as well. Really quickly, do want to get to some things of note here. The Padres, if you missed it, agreed to contracts with 6 arbitration-eligible players: Jason Adam, Adrian Morihone, Gavin Sheets, Mason Miller, Freddie Fermin, and J.P. Sears. Now, these arbitration deals are relatively modest, affordable, fair to the market. Jason Adam, $6.675 million, according to Mark Feinsand from MLB.com. Adrian Morihone, $3.9 million. Gavin Sheets, $4.5 million. Mason Miller, $4 million, and Freddie Fermin, $2.1 million. So we're starting to see how the payroll puzzle is starting to shape out a little bit. It's always great to get these arbitration deals done. The Padres haven't gone to an arbitration case since 2014 and Andrew Kashner. So getting some more figures on the payroll sheet is always good to know what you have left to work with. And of course, signs point to needing somebody in the rotation and someone to play first base and maybe a DH or bat type. A left-handed bat type would always be great as well. So anyway, these 6 deals are done, and that's more information and more room the Padres have to play with on the roster going forward. And now let's go live to Padres Fantasy Camp in Peoria, Arizona, where we have Heath Bell, my trusty co-host, along with some friends. Heath, who we got out there?
We got Prez Senior and Prez Junior. So you got a father-son duo here at Padres Fantasy Camp, having a good time. It's kind of my shortstop and second baseman, and sometimes starting pitcher.
Well, you got middle infield. I guess a pitching mound could be considered middle infield as well, so we'll go with that.
Really quick, I want to say Gus here, Senior, my first camp years ago, he was my shortstop and his dad was my pitcher, and his dad was, 78? 78 at the time. He's 84 now, and we got to the championship. We're not doing it this week, but so he's a good friend of mine, and it's fun. And then this year, his dad was out rooting, and we had him coach first base a game. So go ahead.
I'm Gus Perez Sr. This is my 6th camp. Love it. Diehard Padre fan all my life. Had the good fortune of playing with Heath and Carlos Hernandez back in the day, and got the good fortune of my dad joining me that one. And it was just, my son would have probably come earlier in earlier years, but unfortunately you have to be 25 years old to play. And now he's here. We're born and raised in Chula Vista, and diehard Padre fans. And I'm just excited to be, supporters of Heath and all the other coaches that are spending time here to try to make us feel like we're big leaguers and experience, the best days
What's
of our
cool
life.
about this is this has really become a family thing for you guys. It's become a family trip, building memories year in, year out, not just with yourselves, but with the extended Padres family as well, and with how long you've known Heath and everything. That's awesome. Yeah, and that's something I don't necessarily think of when I think fantasy camp. I think of, kids living out their big kid dreams out there, which you are, but this is generational to you as well. So that's really a cool piece. Now tell me about your fantasy camp, I guess, quote unquote, season so far, and how you and your team. First off, what's your team name?
We're the Ringers and Swingers. Flannery is with me as my assistant coach. And we started off 0-4.
We're the best 4-inning team in baseball, I'll tell you that.
I will say our conditioning's not good because we were winning every game. We play 6 innings. We were winning every game in the 4th inning. And in the 5th inning and 6th inning, we were getting so tired we couldn't catch a ball, throw a ball, and other guys, but and we lost 4 games that we should have won. Then we
Sacrifice the chicken.
KFC outfit came out and we won. And then today we won 18-6, and I was like, "This is the team I drafted. Thought they were going to play." So me and Flanny were talking to go, "We need a spring training before the season." So, but we only have
we're athletes too.
All you needed, maybe you need a little spring training before the camp, but you really just needed a chicken. That was it.
Break the curse. And actually, today's game was the beer game. Take a beer to every position and just put it down, and then they rate. So beer might be the answer, the silver bullet.
Alex, I think just the key thing was that he really thought about loosening us up. I think we all wanted to do too much. Me, try to impress my dad and my son, and everybody had a part in that. And by bringing out the chicken and the KFC outfit and saying, "You guys are out on the field with a beer can at the first inning," we were all just relaxed, and we went back to play the baseball that we know how to play.
So we still got one more game to go. We have the morning game. We're not in the championship. We're going to be at the big main stadium. And I'm going to call it the Donut Bowl because we're going to all have donuts in our positions. Might get donuts for everybody.
So now, I guess the question is what kind of donuts? Because I've got a few requests. If you're going to start throwing donuts out there, I got a few requests. Guys, what kind of donuts do you want to see out there?
I want raspberry with glaze.
That's his fantasy. He's
I'll
going to get a regular donut.
I'll be original glazed because that means I'm going to put up zeros if I'm pitching, so we're good.
Hey, the original glazed is the table setter. Like if you go to a donut shop and they master the original glazed, you can trust everything else. That is the most basic of donuts, and if they master that one, you're in good shape. Everything else from there on out is good.
Amen.
That's for sure. But if it has a good raspberry filled with the glaze, you get the double benefit.
Fellas, I'm glad you're having a good time out there at Padres Fantasy Camp, and thanks for being members of the Friar Faithful, and thanks for joining us on Believe in San Diego Baseball. And Heath, I can't wait to talk to you some more. Well, coming up next, Heath will rejoin us from Peoria with our biggest guest ever. We're taking the break a little bit early today, so we have plenty of time to talk to this man. He is a 3-time All-Star, a 2-time World Series champion, a pitching Triple Crown winner, a Cy Young Award winner, and a Padres Hall of Famer. If you can't guess who it is, well, you're going to have to hang out a little longer because we will be back on Believe in San Diego Baseball in just a couple minutes. Do want to remind you to subscribe if you have not. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio as well. It's Believe, BLEAV, in San Diego Baseball. And we'll be back in just a couple minutes here on Believe in San Diego Baseball. Welcome back to Believe in San Diego Baseball, the podcast. Myself, Alex Miniak, and Heath Bell, and joined by special guest, the man himself, Jake Peavy, Padres Cy Young Award winner, Triple Crown winner, legendary guitarist. Look at him right there. He's got the 6th string in hand. Why don't you play an intro for us, Jake? That'd be fantastic.
Oh, look, it would be very embarrassing. Me and Flannery are having to play some music for the campers here. Not having to, getting to. I've played zero music, and so over here trying to work up songs when Heath come and grab me for the podcast. But
He was doing Toy Story, and it sounded great. Just do that.
Little Randy Newman.
He's got a friend in me. Yes, he's got a friend in me. When Heath's got them troubles, Jake's got them too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. Me and Heath, we're going to stick together. See it through. Heath, you got a friend in me. Yeah, Heath, you got a friend in me.
I think we got ourselves a new theme song here for Believe in San Diego Baseball. That's fantastic. Jake Peavy, everybody. Let's give a big round of applause there. Live and in concert from Peoria, Arizona at the Padres Spring Training Facility. It's Padres Fantasy Camp. We just talked to a couple of our campers who love coming out. Little did I know that it's a generational thing between some of these campers. fathers, sons, their sons as well. And it's not just natural born family; it's an extended family too, with Padres players and coaches as well. Tell me about your experience so far, Jake, and what keeps you coming back to Padres Fantasy Camp.
Well, I mean, we'll start with just it's a joy to come back, and for us who did this every day of our lives for so long, put a uniform on, be it in a baseball field, cages, mounds. It's normal for us. So to scratch the itch that me and Heath come back and get to feel like we once did for a long time, and feel relevant in the baseball world, do something that we have some expertise at. So it starts there, where it makes us feel really good. And then we get to see each other and hang, and we don't get that as we retire and move on in lives. You rarely see your ex-teammates and former teammates, guys that you spent tons of time with. So coach's room is a blast, and then it extends into meeting all the new campers. And at the end of the day, everybody's got their own life. We introduced this morning the veterans presence of people who've served in this room, but everybody's got their stories that makes it cool. At the end of the day, when you get in a conversation with somebody, you have the love of baseball and the Padres in common. So it's very easy to find talking ground. And 3 years running for me, and just got our ass kicked by each.
Well, I've heard there's been a chicken sacrificed, and I heard there's beers at every base, and there's soon to be donuts at every base. So at least there's some motivation that you did not get during your playing days here at Fantasy Camp.
Yeah, we're here having a good time. We love the campers. It's like our extended family, and just having, it's fun. It's almost for us like coming back to spring training. But we don't have to sprint. We don't have to work out. We can just mess around with our teammates that we miss seeing every day.
That's awesome. It's just the brotherhood reignited.
Fun is what we get to do, basically.
Yeah. I'm sure when you guys get together and you reunite at events like these and you have the time together back in the locker room like you are now, some old stories come up between you. Heath, I got to imagine you have some stories about Jake, and Jake, you have stories about Heath as well. I want to get to some baseball stories. Like, Heath, for you, what's it like, pitching after this guy? And Jake, what's it like knowing like you had a guy like Heath on the back end to help carry you through a big league ball game as well?
Well, watching him pitch was amazing. And also it was like, is he going to go throw 9 innings and not let me pitch? So every inning, he was winning. He was coming in the game. I was always like, is he going to go back out because he's doing that well? But it was just amazing watching him pitch and the way he attacks guys. And, I just kind of followed that, in the 9th inning, just attack everybody and throw your best pitches. And then I got to see him on other teams. It was kind of a little sad, and got to win a World Series and kind of bummed because I wanted to win one. So I was like, I want to be on your team. But he's a great guy, great pitcher, great, competitor. And there's nobody better than, watching as a starter for me.
I think you just said something that hit me, the competitive stuff. When me and Heath, I think a lot of people can look at both of us just in where we come from, our draft status, and just where we were in our careers when we found it. A little bit of the underdog role. I don't think many people expected us to achieve the success starting closing in San Diego. I mean, this man ran Trevor Hoffman out of town. He was so good. He was to throw the ninth, and we had a problem because he grew into a bona fide all-star closer. I was trying to give the ball back to him. And I was trying to give the ball straight to him and not any of the other yahoos down there on my start day. But my favorite story about Heath, I can't tell too many of them because we spent good time hanging out off the field, and we'll keep those between us. The night of the Colorado game, the 07 play-in game there in Colorado, the performance that this man went out there and did. I'm in chills saying it right now because I don't think anybody can understand when you're going out there in that type of pressure in the worst pitching environment that there is, with the season on the line. You give up runs, it's over. And he showed what he was made of that night, and pretty good career thereafter.
What goes through your head, Heath, going back to you in a moment like that, especially in that environment? Do you just take the ball and say, all right, it's my job, let's go? Or are there a few butterflies, a few nerves that, or is there a strategy change in the back of your mind? This is what I have to do.
No, it was literally just you're not going to score. I'm going to do whatever it takes. Rock's not going to score. We're going to win this game. And you could have heard me in the dugout when we were up to bat because I ended up pitching like 2 2/3 inning or 2 1/3 inning. And so I had to sit down and I'm just cheering. I was like a loud fan in the dugout and then going out there, just giving it everything I had. And, I was going to leave everything out on the table. And, unfortunately the game didn't end the way we wanted. But I remember that moment he was talking about it and I was like, it kind of gave me chills because I haven't thought about that in a long time.
Oh, Lord, stay with us is what I would say in those big moments. I'm scared to death, Oh, Lord, stay with us. We had so many amazing plane flights with our teammates through the years. I will never forget that plane ride just being gutted on the way back.
It was the hardest plane ride and the quietest plane ride I've ever been on.
I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine that.
Yeah, he still hasn't touched home.
Yeah, no, and I think all of San Diego would agree with that as well. Preparing for a big game like that is way different today than when you played. And even though that wasn't that long ago, advanced analytics have changed so much and their reliance on them. Would you want to pitch in today's environment knowing that it's so different? It just seems, Heath and I have talked about this before. It's just about throwing gas and a little less strategy these days. And there's so many more things that come into it. Jake, talk about what it was like from your day to what it is now and how different it is to get on that mound for a big game today.
I think philosophy has changed a little bit with pitching, and especially with starting pitching. Heath and these relievers were coming in, game on the line. Like, he's not throwing his third best pitch very often. Or you've got to go to what works, and you've got to be letting it eat. He's not saving anything. It's dog eat dog world. Whereas a starter, there were certainly a little bit different strategy, and he's talking about trying to pitch into the 7th and 8th innings. And if you're going to do that, you've got to be efficient. You've got to get guys out different ways. You can't just go right to it. Where now the advanced analytics, it's made the game smarter, certainly in some cases, but just a lot louder also, because the scouting reports and the stuff we knew about the opposition, it was all relevant and all played into what was going on. The thing that just bothers me a little bit about today's pitching mechanics is that we ask every guy to get to be the best version of himself. We shape his pitches, or, hey, this is what your arm does best. And then we teach him to go in there and absolutely let it rip. We teach, hey, you throw the ball down the middle to get ahead. And just losing a little bit of the art form that I got taught by guys like Greg Maddux. You talk about Cy Young and introduced me like that. I did not win that until I came across a guy, and he didn't teach me anything about maxing out or doing anything the best. He taught me to change speeds, to locate while doing that, to know exactly what pitch I was going to throw and why. We're not teaching any of that stuff in today's game. Because there's not any former players around allowed to talk to the guys about how they went about it. It's just that we've analytically got a lot of smart guys that have come up with their philosophies and they push it. And what that is go out there and go as hard as you can for as long as you can. I used to write OPO on the top of my scouting reports, Operation Punch Out. I wanted to strike out every guy who walked to the plate, right? Sandy Alderson, he was over and responsible a lot for Moneyball. Came over, couldn't stand it, hated it. Said, no, Jake, you got to get quality outs, 3 pitch or less. Wanted to take Jake's joint in right field off the board and put up Q's out there instead of all the K's for quality outs. I went crazy, right? I'm fighting analytics as I want to strike out everybody. Now in 2026, just 4 years off, Jake.
They all run together after a while.
Been a long, strange trip. Peace, Bobby Ware. The it's that exact thing. Go out there, throw as hard as you can, try to strike out everybody, because analytics said nothing bad can happen. Only bad thing can happen is the ball can go to the backstop, the guy can get the first. It's actually not a bad thing. You strike out 4 guys that inning. So just funny to me how analytics were taking over and they hated what I was doing. And now those same analytics have just continued to evolve and this and that. And they're going, well, maybe that was why I was so good, because I was doing what you guys are telling them now and fighting what was analytics at that point in time. So again, the game, I don't know. It's all been for the better. We have gotten smarter.
I'm the same way.
It's in tough shape for me sometimes. Pitching in the big leagues is at the lowest point I've seen it, and since I've been taken. And why? Because guys not been taught any feel or art form of what they're out there trying to do.
Do you think that becomes a full circle thing? Like that's something we get back to after a while?
We've done it. A guy cannot go sit in an MIT classroom and come talk to me about navigating a major league lineup. He can, but it's going to be a difference than somebody like Woody Williams sitting beside my side. This MIT guy is way smarter than David Wells ever thought about. David Wells threw a perfect game in the big leagues. He has relevant opinion and thought that has been not meshed with the analytics. It's been kicked out and not really thought of as relevant. And that's kind of how we've lost some of where we're at. I do think it's getting back towards that. But until we start to appreciate, and I know I'm sitting here sounding like a former player going off on these guys, but I don't care. I'm saying how I feel and what I see. It's sad to me when somebody who plays as long as guys have, and then there's no place for them in the game when they've sold to it for 20, 30 plus years.
No, I hear you, and I personally think of analytics just like everything else. It should be a tool in the arsenal. It's a tool in the toolkit. There's no substitute for great experience, and I think all those things need to work together. And I think when the pendulum shifts one extreme or the other, you lose something. Something should work together with the other component to make it the best possible game that it is.
Yeah, I think you're all over it. No analytical measurement can measure teamwork and how the guys work well together, and if they're communicating in the way that you would want them to. Hey, move here. I see that all that stuff plays into. And what I know about winning championships, it's not about the right talent in the room. You have to have the talent in the room, but 30 teams have a lot of talent, right? The Blue Jays weren't any more talented than they've ever been before. They were just together and caring about each other and communicating alongside fundamental baseball. And 1 + 1 starts equaling 3. And the magic happens when that happens.
Heath and I watched that series together, and we would jump on and record the podcast while these games were going on, the Blue Jays Dodgers World Series. We were just amazed at that team chemistry and that everybody had a role, and everybody fulfilled that role. Everybody stood up to the moment. They did what they had to do. Maybe it wasn't a perfect pitch, but they swung at it. They put it in play. It was a beautiful thing to watch. Yeah, they didn't win the series, but to me, that was the perfect makeup and embodiment of a championship club.
Well, let's talk about the other side, our hated Dodgers.
I'll let you handle that. I wasn't going to bring it up.
I feel you, but I'm going to give credit where credit's due, because that complete roster, that complete team, Miggy Rojas, the last man on their roster, had to stand up and be the right moment for them to get it done. Yamamoto, that's a teammate if I've ever seen one. I've never seen somebody throw 100 pitches. And then a day later, he threw more innings in Game 7 than got more outs than anybody else on the Dodger team. What they did, a lot of talent, but they showed me that same togetherness and teamwork. You have to have it. Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts and those guys, they're killers on the field. They're amazing teammates and leaders as well, and it's how you pull off back-to-back.
Yeah, and Heath has nothing bad to say about Dave Roberts, and a lot of people don't have anything bad to say about Dave Roberts. I remember being in Boston in 2004 for the Steal. Man never has to buy a beer in Boston again. I've always liked Dave Roberts from that point forward. I lived in the New England area until I moved to San Diego in 2014. You won a World Series in 2013. Do you still have the duck boat you bought?
Damn right I do. Yeah. The street that it was to be in Boston and be traded into that group of guys, that town just had endured the bombings in April. So the togetherness of the city, again, that's what makes me believe in the camaraderie and stuff even more than I even did before, because the bombings and what that did to the city, it brought us together, put perspective on things, and we treated each other different as neighbors, and we were just together. The Bruins, losing in Game 6 in the Garden we became the only game in town. And look, this is twice in this podcast, so I'm getting chills on my body telling you, clinching in Fenway Park there after that happened, sitting that World Series trophy down on the start-finish line where the bombs went off and telling the city to tell the rest of the story. You're always going to walk by here and say, hey, this is where the bombs went off. Tell them that 5 years later, 5 months later, not years later, we set this trophy down and remembered the lost ones and overcame as a city. It was,
yeah, I mean, that galvanized the city. Poppy, saying, wearing the Boston jersey, saying this is our effing city. That gave me chills, and it gave the city something to rally behind after those terrible events, and to bring it home, and to think in 2012 I actually filled in at Fenway Park. Those were not the brightest of times. I was there in September as well, and I remember announcing your manager Bobby Valentine and getting booed. So I have been booed at Fenway Park, and I remember what a difference a year made.
And if you think your team can't turn it around in a year, that team finished dead last.
Yep.
Team's win song was Drake. We started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Here for the parade.
We'd like to talk all day, but we got to go because he's got to prepare for the song, and we have Kangaroo Court.
Oh, you know what? We do have Kangaroo Court. This is the last thing I'll say, Alan. Having that experience in Boston, I left there. I went back with Boach and Flan, and we did it again in San Francisco. Watching what a World Series means to a fan base and what it does to everyone's life who's around and touches it. So much joy just brought to so many. It's going to happen in San Diego. We say it is. We're going to be a part of it and celebrate alongside you, but let's keep believing until we push through.
That's the name of this podcast, Believe in San Diego Baseball. Jake Peavy, everybody. Thank you, sir, for taking the time, and I look forward to running into you at Petco Park again this season.
Look forward to it, my friend.
All right, take care. Well, Heath will be back in the studio next week, and we got a busy few weeks as we ramp up to spring training here on the program. We got lots to talk about. It's National Cheese Day next week, and Will Myers and Bud Black are back in the fold. Yeah, we'll talk about it. It's all coming up next week. Don't forget to catch us on our website, too. It's BelieveInSD.com. That's BLEAVINSD.com. And we'll catch you next week on Believe in San Diego Baseball.